Hi there, I am RepentMF, going to be speedrunning Kamiko 80% Yamato category for you today. And we will jump right into it. I'm using the traditional Chinese text boxes just because there are 15 text boxes compared to English's 17. Really, you could use Japanese, traditional Chinese, or simplified, just as long as you're not using English. It's a little bit faster. Small optimization. This game is for the Nintendo Switch. We're running NTSC, so let's get into it. Just some mashing right here at the beginning for the text boxes that I was telling you about. And one of the first things that you will notice about Kamiko is that all of the characters are incredibly quick. So it makes it very volatile for them to be so fast, but that also means that you have to be pretty precise in your control of them. What we just did was activated a shrine. They are the main objective of the game. You're supposed to activate all of the shrines so you can progress to the boss of each stage. And every stage has 4 shrines. The orbs that are kind of fleeting towards me right now are called SP, and they come out of enemies that you just killed. Right now we're taking intentional damage to set up for a death skip. We're going to go ahead and activate the next shrine, which also saves our game, and then right afterwards we're going to immediately die. That way it restores all of our SP and all of our health. And SP being our main resource of the game to activate shrines, open treasure chests, is very important to us. So we want to collect SP as quickly as we can, but also as efficiently as we can. Right there you just saw Yamato's hurt box is very tiny and very, very easy to clip through enemies' hitboxes. We have 3 of 4 shrines done, but we still have to go get an orb for the last piece of the puzzle. Kamiko has a lot of tiny puzzles. I've heard it related or compared to a more combat-centric top-down Zelda. Another thing to mention about the enemies is that most of the spawns for the enemies are all random, except for the ones that I just killed. Those are always right there. But for the most part, all of the spawns are random, which makes the speed all the more of a double-edged sword. We are on to our first boss of the game for the Forest of Awakening. And each boss has some kind of gimmick, so this one is just pretty easy for the player. You just repeat a pattern, make him step on all the switches, and expose his weak point, which is the red orb. There are pretty specific positions that you want to place yourself in, because he follows you. We want to make him hop as few times as possible. Doing this will make sure that we complete the fight as quickly as possible. And those red orbs actually have a hurt box right before they come down, so even when the silhouette is out, you can still hit them. We also want to be collecting as much SP as we can for the coming fight. Not fight, coming level. But we are already at 200. I want to stand right here. hit, that's okay. We had 3 health, that's kind of a safety health. Just for moments like that. 2 is really the optimal health you want to go into level 2 with. But 3 is usually just, like I said, safety. So now we are in the Sunken Relics. This is level 2. There's a skip in this level that's pretty tight in terms of timing, but the reward is a small optimization. It's about 1 to 2 seconds, but it's really, really cool to see, and it involves skipping a cutscene using the pause menu, so we're going to try it out. Now in the game, you carry items pretty much, I'd say 40% of the time, and if you get hit by an enemy while you're carrying an item, you just drop it, and you have to go back to the place where you found it, which can be quite time consuming. A lot of the run is really based on optimizations of collecting as much SP with as little effort as possible, or as little map traversal as possible. Right there, we're going to do a despawn, or not despawn, making sure that enemies do not spawn right there. That ensures that we don't really have to go as slow because we move slower when we attack. Opening up the path to the second shrine of level 2. And we cleared out all of those enemies just to make sure that we had a clear shot for our bridge skip. Like I said, it's a pretty tight window. Really cool to see. It seems pretty small. It's just a tiny optimization. But the reason it's good is because we do not like cutscenes in this game. Also demonstrating a small property here. We want to keep the last enemy in a horde of enemies alive. That way they do not respawn. If you kill all of the enemies, they are guaranteed to respawn. We also want to collect 50 SP before heading back to that treasure chest we passed earlier. So I'm gonna have to grind a little bit. So we have enough. We're good. Pretty much set for end game for level 2. Something I didn't mention about bridge skip is it's pretty much made possible solely with D-pad movement. When you use D-pad movement, it's a lot faster using diagonals, than if you used analog diagonals. Right here we're going to pick up what's called a secret. It restores all of our SP and all of our health. Same as a death skip, but it's far less time consuming. Gonna pick up some health just to be safe. So the next boss has a pattern that happens every single fight the same way, with the exception of the RNG of the enemy spawns and the RNG of where his first weak point is. So that was pretty bad RNG, and we were supposed to go up to the top right of the screen, but the enemy spawn was pretty bad. So all the RNG has been pretty bad for this fight. Regardless, it's only probably a second time loss. And that is the end of the second fight. On our way to level 3, the Scorching Labyrinth. Introduces a new mechanic, kill rooms. It's just a horde of enemies that spawn and you have to kill all of them to get through. You can also skip the cutscene of kill rooms using the same technique that we use for the skip of bridge skip. Cutscene skip of bridge skip. And right here we're going to use what is called a special attack. This just clears out the room a little bit faster. We might get hit there. That might be okay though. Okay, so we left one of them alive. That's good. When you leave one enemy of a horde alive, it's n-1, so however many enemies spawn, as long as you kill one of them, it won't respawn. Or even just if you kill all of them, they will absolutely respawn. But if you kill some of them or just leave them alone, they'll all stay there. So leaving the one alive is pretty important for positioning later on. Positioning and routing. We are going to start taking some intentional damage to set up for another death skip. And that's a pretty good spawn right there on the left with those red enemies. We are going to hit the bottom one, I think. Yeah. Now we're on to the last shrine of level 3. Just making sure that there's absolutely nothing in our way, with the exception of one of the stronger enemies. Naturally, we would like to kill the stronger enemies, but it's just more convenient to get rid of the ones with less health. Right now we need to get some health, make sure we don't get hit. Good. We are good for a level 3 boss. And the level 3 boss also kind of piggybacks off of the horde mechanic that was introduced in level 3. You just have to kill a bunch of enemies to progress to the next phase of the fight. And the faster you kill them, the faster the next phase will spawn. Right there, you want to get rid of them pretty much as quick as you can. Not only to advance the fight, because if that pink laser hits you, it will... Everything in the game only does 1 damage, but it's pretty slow in comparison. Getting hit there is just slow. It doesn't benefit you at all. And we want to make sure to keep our combo up here for upcoming level 4. So we're going to release this one early. We are done with level 3. Onto the ruins, which is arguably the hardest level in the entire game. Not just for casual play, but for speedrunners as well. There's a lot of preparation that goes into speedrunning level 4. There's a lot of guesses that you have to make when it comes to the enemy spawns. We're going to close that off. You have to make sure to remember and open that back up before you leave this area. That way, when we go to that portal to get the key that we'll be using later on, we don't have to drop the key and run all the way back. This guy we want to make sure not to get hit by. The fireballs on him are a little bit obnoxious. Spawns can definitely not end a run, but definitely end a PB. This might be a little bit tricky to get out of. No, they got out of the way for me. That's pretty cool. We just want to be as safe as we can here. These guys kind of read your movement and just kind of act accordingly. That was a good section, first section for level 4. And usually right there you want to swing preemptively. You can't really react to that spawn. It's one of the harder spawns in the game to react to. But everything worked out for the best. And right now I'm just going to grab some health, just because this part is, this kill room can be pretty brutal. Now we have to go back through that kill room. The reason we come down here first is to grab that treasure chest, as well as open the path forward. It just works better for the SP and resources if we open the treasure chest first and then go this way. Now we're going to use our special to kind of clean up this kill room. Gonna grab some health. 1 health is not something you want for a level 4. Pretty much ever. There's almost no because there are no death warps, there's no anything that would benefit you in having 1 health in level 4. Manipulate them to get out of our way. Kind of open up a path. Really, this level is really just about not getting hit. It's kind of intense in that sense. On our way to the 3rd shrine of level 4. Missed the preemptive swing there, but it's alright. Everything is going to turn out okay. Now we are really ready for the end of the game. One last real trial to get through is just similar to what task at hand had at bridge skip. The task at hand had at bridge skip. So it's just hitting a switch and getting to a point before the obstacle closes. We might actually not make that. Oh no. Okay, we're fine. There's a lot more time than I thought. We're gonna use a special here to clear out the room. And then we get this. and we want to use the special one last time, clean up the room. And we are on our way to level 4 boss. Now, level 4 has 2 bosses, each of them with 3 phases and 5 phases respectively. Here are more of the text boxes. Pretty interesting that they're so scattered out. The game really focuses more on gameplay. And now, for the first phase of the fight, the orbs are really just going to come right to you. So wherever you're standing, they'll just come to. So it's easy to just stand in the corner. You don't ever really get hit. It's very rare for one of his orbs to actually hit you. This part is all RNG with his attacks. And, well, the attacks always follow you, but where the orb spawns is very RNG. That's unfortunate. That's fine. And now we really want to be on the right-hand side. And now we'll go to the left. Like I said, in the corner it's very difficult to get actually like hurt. And that is level 1 boss complete. Level 1. Level 4, phase 1 boss complete. Now we're on to phase 2 boss. And this is the end of the game, final stretch. There's only one more difficult part of the run really. We have to use our SP here to do our special attack. We have to really build up our meter. And that guy, that box, to do it now. That box really moves in accordance with you. Alright, we're good for the next. This is the only hard part. It's really hard to gain SP here, so gaining SP preemptively is a good idea. So now the run is basically free. I don't know why I grabbed this, just to be silly. There's not really much to do except for gain a lot of SP. Now we just wait. This is probably one of the cooler fights in the game. There's a lot going on. A lot of flashy attacks happening. Actually pretty dangerous too as far as how big the hitboxes are. And that is it. And now we just have to go and collect the final shrine. Activate it. That is time. 23:22. My PB is 23:10. The world record is 22:51. So that's a pretty good time. I would love to come to AGDQ. When I was about 5 years old, back in 2000, my mom had breast cancer. And again in, I think, 2011, 2012. She had breast cancer again. So she has gone through it twice. She's a survivor. It's pretty cool that she has been able to make it through chemo. But it's a really, really strong effect that you can see afterwards. Not as, I don't know, lively as she used to be. And that has to do with a lot of the chemo. So Prevent Cancer Foundation is a really cool, just a really cool foundation, really cool organization that you guys are working with. I really appreciate it. I donate almost every year to AGDQ or SGDQ, one of the two. Even if it's not a lot, it means a lot that you guys do stuff like this. This was Kamiko. Really love to be at the next AGDQ. Really look forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your consideration.